Alrighty, welcome to The Brush Up. I'm Landon Miller, and joining me today is Leo Beas, multimedia editor for The Sagebrush, and to my left, Eric Uribe, who is a sports editor for The Sagebrush as well. So yesterday, of course, was the Super Bowl. My headline for the Super Bowl will be Super Bust. See what I did there? Not really an exciting game yesterday, guys. Tell me about it, Leo. We'll start off with you.
It was atrocious. The ratings are probably horrible. People stopped watching the game like around the fourth quarter. It was a blowout. Very disappointing.
Yeah, I'm sure. Eric, what say you, man?
I'm disappointed like everyone else. We expected a great game. Best defense or best offense. Gigantic letdown. But I think the real question here for me is what does this kind of mean for the Broncos? What does this kind of mean for Peyton Manning's legacy? Because before this game, Peyton Manning had a chance to kind of cement his legacy, arguably become the greatest QB of all time. But, he threw some ducks out there, as Richard Sherman said, just completely flopped. The most prolific offense only scored 8 points in the biggest game of the year. So that's got to kind of tarnish.
But he's 11-12 in postseason. He's the only quarterback in history to throw 2 pick sixes in a Super Bowl.
Ooh. So
to me, his career has been tarnished because of this. Well, his legacy, excuse me. So he's not, to me, he won't be the greatest to ever play the game.
Now, because of the Super Bowl yesterday, do you think Peyton Manning he's done for? Maybe not make it back to another Super Bowl. His legacy is crushed. Eric, we'll start off with you.
Crushed? No. Come on. He just threw, how many touchdowns did he throw? 50-something?
In the regular season.
In the regular
season. He's the greatest
Yeah.
regular season quarterback to ever play the game.
His career ain't over yet. I think he's still got 2, 3, 4 years left in the tank. It's just so hard to get a Super Bowl, such a small margin of error.
And the only Super Bowl that he did win was against arguably the worst quarterback to ever be in a Super Bowl. He had a QBR rating of 7 in Rex Grossman, which is atrocious.
Well, Peyton Manning, his career ain't over yet. He's still got some time to make up for it, but it definitely took a hit last night. But obviously we've been talking about them. Let's talk about the winners a little bit. What does this kind of mean to Russell Wilson and the rest of the Seahawks?
Russell Wilson, the second African American to win a Super Bowl after Doug Williams with the Redskins. Huge honor for him. The future of the Seahawks is bright, barring injury. I think that defense is set up to be arguably the best to ever play in this game, and I think they will be back next year.
Yep. You got to applaud Coach Carroll for the job he's done. Obviously, college coaches get that bad knock on him for not being able to transition to the NFL, but obviously he proved those doubters wrong. I believe he's only the 3rd coach to ever win a national championship and a Super Bowl. Huge honor, and like you said, he's going to get another opportunity here in the coming years, probably.
All right, now let me ask you about this. Sherman, little karma for old Sherman yesterday, huh?
Super Bowl ring? I don't think that's karma.
No, man. He shut down that left side. Eric Decker was non-existent.
Yeah.
Wes Walker had 8 receptions that were meaningless.
Yeah.
Meaningless.
No meaning to those.
At all. What do you think, Eric?
They completely shut him out. Kind of forced him to go underneath. Kind of forced actually Peyton Manning to beat him deep, which obviously he couldn't do. And it was an impressive showing.
He was a sitting duck the entire night, man.
He was.
Well, any final thoughts on the Super Bowl, guys?
Yeah, we had 2 ex-Pac players in it. Unfortunately, they didn't have the best of luck. However, Brandon Marshall did have the first tackle of the game.
That was a huge honor.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Hey, still to come in the second segment, we're talking a little Wolfpack basketball right here on The Brush Up. We'll be back. All right, welcome back to The Brush Up right here. Now it's time to talk a little Wolfpack basketball. Quite an exciting game the other night, Saturday night, Nevada taking on Air Force, and what a win in overtime. Leo, let's start off with you.
It was more of a sour win for Nevada. Their players showed up the first half, eased up in the second half, and then near the end, seeing their backs be, against the wall, and AJ West, which to me is a difference maker in this, made the difference. He put the cake. Well, he put the icing on the cake.
He put the cake in the icing.
That's right. But he was the X factor. He was the X factor, and he proved it down the stretch.
All right, Eric, what about you?
I mean, I guess that's kind of the glass half full perspective, but I mean, on the glass, or excuse me, the half empty perspective, but on the glass half full, I mean, we saw a Nevada team, once again get tested, pushed to the limits, and they pulled out a gutsy victory. I mean, that's their 5th overtime game now. I think these early kind of games are really prepping them for later in the season. I mean, they got San Diego State, number 5th ranked team in the country, they're going over there in a week. Obviously, Mountain West tournament, that'll help out. So, it wasn't the best win, but they fought hard and really showed kind of some guts.
And I wasn't at the game. What was that? Saturday night. But I'm sure the mood inside of Lawler must have been electric, right?
It was nice. Yeah. It was nice to see a crowd actually into the game. This guy actually, he was screaming at the opposing team, and he got ran out the building by US.
He ran out the building.
By security. And he was cussing, and it was crazy.
What did he say? You want to tell us? You can't say it?
I can't say it either, man.
But I mean, talking about just the fan support really of the Pac basketball, would you say, Eric, that it's kind of increasing more and more as the season progresses? How's the attendance of these games?
I've only made a couple too. I was gone winter break. But I mean, winning cures everything, I mean, fans, they don't want to watch a team that's not winning. And that was the case last year, I mean, they won about 3 conference games. They've already won about 7 this year, so winning cures all. Winning cures all. Leo,
Everything.
You don't think so? Oh,
no,
of course you do.
Yeah,
of course
absolutely.
you do. All right, what do you think for the rest of the season for the Wolfpack basketball?
I hope so. Well, I hope that it's bright, but I just think as soon as they start facing the San Diego States, the New Mexicos and Las Vegas again, I think they might fall a little bit short, only because they're not at full strength. Chris Brown is out with heart clots, which is not very good. Blood clots, excuse me.
Heart clots.
in his heart.
But the question is, Lo, can he still sing?
Can he still sing?
Can he still sing?
I'm not sure.
See what I did there? Chris Brown? No? No one? Didn't appreciate that one. We'll be right back here on the Brush Up with some final thoughts. All right, let's go back to the Super Bowl one last time today. Talking a little advertisements. For me, the Super Bowl is all about the advertisements. The game, and especially yesterday with what a blowout it was. But let's talk, Leo, about your favorite commercial yesterday that you saw.
I'm gonna say it's the one about the yogurt where it's the couple and the guy is scooping up his yogurt, and then the girl licks her lips and like that.
Yeah.
And then he accidentally drops it, where, and and she licks her lips and she laughs, and then the next thing you know, some guys say, like, I think they're cleaning windows or something. They say, oh, they sort of interrupt the moment.
Ugh.
Oh
gosh, hate it when you.
But I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, Eric.
Tim Tebow's T-Mobile commercial, by far. I mean, obviously I'm a little bit biased. I'm a huge Tebow fan, but I mean, just to poke fun of him not having an NFL contract and kind of just sitting on the couch the whole season, I thought it was awesome. Very funny.
And you could say that Tim Tebow made a Super Bowl appearance yesterday, right?
Yeah. And maybe outshined.
He outshined his ex-team,
yeah,
right? The Denver Broncos.
Of course.
And the player who replaced him, so.
Now, I would say for my favorite Super Bowl commercial, guys, is the Doritos one. Now, the one that won the Doritos competition is of this little kid who rides this big old dog thing and like the cowboy thing. And anyway, I didn't like that commercial, but leading up to it, there was one where they eat the Doritos and the fingers get all like orange and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? And so they stick it in this little hole, right? If you want to zoom in and see what they do here, but they stick the finger in this little hole in the wall, and it's like the magic finger cleaner of the Doritos. And they're like, well, what's on the other side? And then sure enough, on the other side is just someone who is like putting their mouth over the finger and just licking off the Dorito crumbs. But that's what I'm talking about when it comes to commercials. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for the Brush Up today. I'm Landon Miller. Joining us today is Leo Beas, Erica Uribe. Uribe?
Uribe.
Uribe! All right, we'll see you next time right here on the Brush Up.